Hello everybody. Namaskar. My name is Aswini Verma and I'm a CTO, I'm a co-founder. So 2 weeks ago, I was deep into building a new AI feature for our application. Lines of codes were open, bugs everywhere, deadlines were approaching. Some might say it's a normal day for a developer. So my co-founder walks in and says, Ashwini, you have been invited to speak at TEDx. TEDx? Isn't that a big platform? And my first thought was, am I worthy of inspiration? Maybe yes, maybe no. But one thing I am certain about, I have a journey, I have failures, I have doubts, and I have uncertainty. And today, I'm not here to talk about success. I'm not here to talk about achievements. I'm here to talk about the mistakes, the wrong decisions, the fear, and what uncertainty really teaches you when you're building something from nothing. So, we assume a lot of successful founders wake up with clarity. They go to sleep at 2 a.m., they wake up at 5 a.m. with clarity. I tried that too. I did not get any clarity. All I got was sleep deprivation. They know the market, they know the roadmap, they know the future itself. And I thought that too. When we started building our application, I thought clarity would come first and then execution, it would follow. Guess what? I was wrong. One of our first major feature was a counselor booking system. On paper, it was perfect. Students could browse profiles, compare experience, check the ratings, reviews, seamless payments, book instantly. We spent weeks building it. Late night discussions, lots of coding, endless refinements, and then we launched it. We celebrated like, yay, this is the next big thing of India. We are the next unicorn. And guess what? Almost nobody booked. Not because it was broken, but because it was wrongly assumed. From my perspective, the logic was clear. Students need guidance and they will book for guidance. But what we built was choice. What they needed was confidence. They opened the app, scrolled through the counselors, compared profiles, compared prices, and then closed it. Not because they did not care. They were spending a lot of time on the system, which showed that they did care, but because they were afraid of choosing wrong. And that's when it hit me. Assumption feels like clarity. So we stopped adding new features and we started asking better questions. Why are they hesitating? The answer, it was not something technical. It was not something about coding, something about the app. The answer was emotional. They did not lack options. They lacked direction. So we changed the flow. We introduced an intelligent AI guidance system that helped the students find the best counselors for them instead of them just forced to choosing alone. We made our first session free. We reduced the risk of being wrong and something shifted. Not talking about the bookings, confidence. A lot of people who were initially not so interested suddenly started having conversation with us. And that's when I understood something fundamental. Clarity does not come before action. It comes after friction. Clarity, it's not a starting point. It's a side effect. And here is when things get interesting. AI has been talk for a lot of days. And so as a CTO, building AI systems, I realized something very ironic. The very thing we fear as humans, AI is built to embrace it. artificial intelligence does not operate on certainty. It operates in probabilities. It predicts, it gets wrong, it adjusts, it improves, it does that 1,000 times. An AI model is not embarrassed by wrong output. It does not question its worth. It doesn't pause because one of his prediction failed. It treats errors as feedbacks. But humans, what do? We treat error as identity. When a feature fails, we think like we failed. When we make a wrong decision, we assume that we are wrong. When clarity is missing, we think we are not ready. But uncertainty is not a flaw in the system, it's a training phase of the system. Every intelligent model improves because it is allowed to iterate. And that made me ask a difficult question. What if your life were an AI model? Are you allowing yourself enough iterations, or are you shutting down after one wrong prediction? Because growth does not come from certainty, it comes from iteration. So there were nights when the number did not look so good, when bookings were low, when the growth was slow, when the doubt, it was loud. And nobody sees that part. They see the launches, they see the updates, they see the momentum. Nobody sees the 2 a.m. dashboard refresh, the quiet fear that maybe you're not as capable as others think you are. The silent question, what if I'm building the wrong thing? Uncertainty does not knock politely. It stays. It sits with you. It questions you. It stretches you. And you know what the hardest part is? There's no clear sign that tells you whether you're failing or simply early. There's no notification that says, relax. It is just an iteration phase. You are left alone with ambiguity. But somewhere in that ambiguity, I realized something very powerful. Human success is not decided by how intelligent you are, it is decided by how much uncertainty you can handle without quitting. Because comfort feels clear, growth, it feels confusing, clarity, it feels safe, but ambition, it feels uncertain. And if everything in your life feels clear, you're not probably pushing your limits. So, I would like to end with something a lot of us Indians grew up hearing. So, there's an ancient epic called Ramayana, and there's a moment when Hanuman, a warrior, a god, stands before the ocean. He needs to cross that ocean to find Sita. He stands there, powerful, yet uncertain. He had the strength, but in that moment, he had forgotten about it. And beside him stood Jamvan. He did not give Hanuman new power. He just reminded Hanuman of who he truly was. And only then did Hanuman leap, not because the ocean became smaller, but because his belief became stronger. And I find that true for every ambitious life. The ocean doesn't disappear, the doubts don't politely leave, the uncertainty does not vanish, but something in you decides to move anyway. And maybe the most important realization is this: you don't need to find a Jamwant outside. You must become your own reminder, because inside you there's doubt, but also inside you there's strength that you have forgotten. And success is not decided by how intelligent you are. I would like to repeat, it is decided by how much uncertainty you can hold without stepping back. So when you leave today, don't wait for clarity. Don't wait for the perfect timing. Don't wait to feel fully ready. Stand before the ocean and leap, because, like every intelligent system, you are built to iterate, and iteration requires courage. The question is, will you leap? Thank you.